ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to this friendly international between St. Lucia and Guyana's senior national team, or as you know them, as the Golden Jaguar. Right now, I want to ask you to stand for the singing for the national anthem of St. Lucia. Put your hands together for the St. Lucia national football team. Remain standing for the singing of the national anthem of Guyana. All right, put your hands together for the Golden Jaguars. And again, let me say thank you for those who done your yellow and come out and support the Golden Jaguars. And after the starting team for St. Lucia, wearing the #1 jersey is Randy Pellion. Wearing number 18, Sebastian Hunt. Number 6, Sheldon Emmanuel. Number 3, Eric Gabriel. Wearing number 17 is Romeo Felix. Number 11, Aiden Charles. Number 2, John Joseph. Number 8, Tremaine Jean Paul. Number 10, Jesus Polias. Number 15 is Malik Sinclair. And wearing number 14 is Lester Joseph. That's your starting 11 of the St. Lucia national football team. And now for the starting lineup of the Golden Jaguar. Between the uprights, wearing number 30, Rafael Clark. Number 21, Colin Nelson. Number 4 is Jamal Smith. Number 16, Joshua Brown. Number 5, Chris Kumash. Wearing number 8 jersey is Captain Christopher Nurse. Number 15, Brandon Beresford. Number 23, Ian Allen. Wearing number 17 jersey is Marlon Mills. And number 11, Daniel Wilson. And wearing the number 9 jersey is Sheldon Holder. That's your starting lineup for the Golden Jaguars. Come on, make some noise for the Golden Jaguars. We come to choose our very pointer, King Solomon Austin, Les Charles Critchlow, Daniel White, Tanaka Mani, Clive Novriga, Junior Juna, Dwayne Jacobs, Calvin Shepard, Emery Welshman, Dwayne Lawrence, and Madison Bruno. Tonight's event, of course, comes to you with the compliments of Banks D&H under their Banks Wear brand and Coca-Cola, Open Happiness.
Okay, a very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. We want to welcome you down to the Guyana National Stadium here at Providence. We're going to be witnessing a friendly international between Guyana and the St. Lucia. Of course, when the two teams met in St. Lucia last year, that was in the Caribbean Cup competition. The St. Lucians prevailed 2-0. So in the first instance, the Guyanese will be looking to return the favors, even as both teams are preparing for the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. This is the first game this year for the St. Lucians, while it's the second for the Guyanese. On February 1st in Barbados, they drew with that nation 2-2. So we're looking forward to a pretty good match this evening. And while winning would be on the table for both teams, they are of course preparing for World Cup qualifying, which starts in June. They are booked to play in the second round of the CONCACAF leg of qualifying. And we're off. The ball goes into touch, so it's going to be a throw-in to the St. Lucians. And just to give you a quick rundown of the starting 11 for both teams: St. Lucia in goal, Randy Polion, Sabatius Hunt, the captain wearing number 6, Sheldon Emmanuel, and Hunt is wearing number 18 jersey. We have Eric Gabriel in number 3, Romiel Felix number 17, Eden Charles number 11, John P. Joseph number 2, Tremaine Shane Paul number 8, Zacchaeus Polius number 10, Malik Simpri number 15, and Lester Joseph in the number 14 jersey for St. Lucia, as the Guyanese take a throwing deep in the St. Lucia attacking third. Guyana still with possession. Let's give you the starting 11 for the home team. We have Akel Clark in goal, wearing number 30, Colin Nelson number 21, Jamal Smith number 4, Joshua Brown number 16, Chris Camacho number 5, Christopher Nurse the captain number 8, Brandon Beresford number 15, Ian Allen number 23, Verlon Mills number 17, Daniel Wilson number 11, and Sheldon Holder wearing the number 9 jersey. The head coach for the Guyanese, Jamal Shabazz, and for St. Lucia, Francis Lastic. As the on-field action continues, Guyana in possession, looking to move forward. That ball goes directly in the path of a St. Lucian, as the action heats up here in the first half of this friendly international at the Guyana National Stadium in Providence. A pretty fair-sized crowd in the house so far, in the yellow, to show support for the Golden Jaguars. St. Lucia, but the ball headed away into touch, so it's going to be a throw-in, another throw-in to the St. Lucians. Looking pretty aggressive in the opening minutes here against the Guyanese. And when the two teams met in St. Lucia last year, the majority of the team was an inexperienced unit. It's a different scenario here today. A number of local players involved, as well as under 23 players. As you know, also the CONCACAF leg of Olympic qualifying will start later this year. So both nations taking the opportunity to expose a number of young players, as well as the St. Lucians are in the Guyana half, with that ball going into touch, still in possession of the St. Lucians. Of course, international football returning to these shores after 2 years, and the crowd starved in that regard, and of course they're happy to see international football returning to Guyana. Possession now changes hands. The Guyanese are on the prowl. Good work there in defense by St. Lucia, putting the ball into touch. Possessions still with the Guyanese team. In their green, predominant green with yellow stripes, the St. Lucians in predominant blue. And even as the action continues, this is the first game that the Guyana Football Federation's Normalization Committee, just in place a few months, they've been able to get this game off for the Guyanese. And in another week, Grenada will be coming to these shores for another friendly international. It's a free kick to the Guyana side, deep in their half of play. It's a long ball upfield. Good defending again there by St. Lucia. Now in possession in midfield. Guyana now taking over. Slip there by that player. A good battle there. The St. Lucians prevailing. Possession back with Guyana. Solid in defense is the St. Lucia captain, one of the most experienced players, Sheldon Emmanuel, the dreadlock Sheldon Emmanuel, sporting the number 6 jersey. And he, along with Tremaine Shane Paul, are plying their trade in Trinidad and Tobago, as is the Guyanese goalkeeper Akel Clark. So both teams still looking to get the advantage of the other, not holding back in terms of pressing forward. But so far the St. Lucians have been the more active team in terms of going forward, but Guyana showing depth in defense as well. And with young Emmanuel, that should be Holder, Sheldon Holder, and Daniel Wilson up front, working in tandem with Captain Christopher Nurse in midfield and Verlon Mills on the right side. The Guyanese will be looking to draw first blood here against the St. Lucians, who are pressing forward, looking for the opening goal. But again, some solid defensive work by the Guyanese, thwarting that effort from the St. Lucians. Banks DIH, under their Banks Beer and Coca-Cola brands, they're the sole sponsor of this international match here at the Providence Stadium. So kudos to Banks DIH Limited for coming on board with the Normalization Committee of the Guyana Football Federation. St. Lucia still in control. Brandon Beresford there for Guyana, looking to find Verlon Mills, but that pass was a little too much for Mills to take control.
They expect we never get back about this stuff. They expect we never get back about this stuff.
We would have also seen before the start of proceedings the teams being met by the Honorable Prime Minister as St. Lucian is fouled. Prime Minister Samuel Hines, along with the Honorable Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Dr. Frank Anthony, Chairman of the GFF's Normalization Committee, Clinton Erling, Ms. Jennifer Khan of Banks DIH Limited, among other officials, meeting and greeting the players before the start of this match. So it's a 3-man wall being put up there by the Guyanese side, the Golden Jaguars,
I could hardly
as
numbers, you know?
the St. Lucians, the visitors, continue to press forward in search of the opening goal. The shot is taken. A good dummy there by the onrushing player, just eluding the upright. Even goalkeeper Akel Clark was not on top of that free kick, but luckily The ball going just outside the left upright and into touch for a goal kick to the Guyanese. So that was a pretty close shave for the Guyanese as the St. Lucians took that free kick. Guyana on the counter here, pressing deep into the final third, and they have won a throw-in. Good clearance there by St. Lucia. And it's a throw-in to the Guyana side. Free kick there awarded to the Golden Jaguars. Referee's whistle going for an infringement, so it's going to be a kick to the St. Lucia side, which of course will be taken by their goalkeeper Randy Polion. Verlon Mills for Guyana, losing control, and the ball going into touch. That should be a throwing to the St. Lucians. And the crowd, of course, did not like the fact that Verlon could not have, maintained control of the ball. But of course, he would look to make amends as this game matures. It's still a nil-all affair between Guyana's Golden Jaguars in green and the St. Lucia in blue. It's the first game for the St. Lucians in 2015. It's Guyana's second. On the 1st of February, it drew with Barbados in Barbados 2-2.
Oh no, Joshua. Oh no, Joshua. You see me do that?
So both teams taking the fight to each other. Fair exchanges so far. It's going to be a throw-in for Guyana, taken by Camacho. The ball going straight to goalkeeper Polion, who accepted gleefully. As St. Lucia look to score first here. Of course, the Golden Jaguars would also be harboring such thoughts. Both teams looking to gain the ascendancy, and of course a goal would settle the nerves of either team as they seek to go forward in preparation for World Cup qualifying 2018. They're going to start their respective campaigns in June in round 2 of the CONCACAF leg of qualifying. A goal kick to St. Lucia. Goalkeeper Polion will take the kick. But so far, St. Lucia, of course, looking a solid unit, enjoying the better of the exchanges in midfield. But as we know, the Golden Jaguars who would have moved their way into the third stage of qualifying for the previous World Cup held last year in Brazil, would be looking to reassert themselves and regain that momentum that would have propelled them for the first time in the history of Guyana to the third stage of qualifying. St. Lucia moving forward. They're into the Guyana half. A nice chip there, and good work by St. Lucia, but not being able to penetrate. Captain Nurse to Mills, but Mills losing possession to St. Lucia. Eventually, the ball given up by St. Lucia's number 3, Mr. Gabriel. Call by the referee for the ball to be restarted. It's back up and running. The referee signaling again that we should restart play. It's been done. Jamal again, for some reason, not getting it right. Let's hope that is so this time. Yes, and we're back up and running. Colin Nelson for the Jaguars looking to find Mills. He does, but Mills not being able to control the ball, and the referee's whistle blown for an infringement. Let's see, perhaps it would have been a foul committed against St. Lucia, so it's going to be a free kick to St. Lucia. And the captain himself, Sheldon Emmanuel, controlling the defense for his country, and one of the prominent faces on the St. Lucia team. As the ball goes into touch, again, it's going to be a throw-in to St. Lucia, number 2 on the ball there for his country, Mr. Joseph. And when the Guyanese met the St. Lucians in the Caribbean Cup last year, it would not have been a full-strength Guyana team, mainly made up of locally based players, but in this new dispensation, it's a mix of overseas based and local players, and both countries are also preparing for the Olympic qualifying competition, so you would find a number of under 23 players being given the opportunity to hone their skills and to showcase their skills for the coaches to see what they can do, as Olympic qualifying is also on the horizon. Good work there again by St. Lucia, but again, not being able to have that kind of penetration in the attacking third. So, goalkeeper Akel Clark, who plays a straight in Trinidad and Tobago, passes to Colin. That's Jamal Smith. Captain Nurse is back in defense. Traditionally plays in the midfield. Colin Nelson looks for Mills, finds him, and it's Sheldon. So Mills in with a chance of scoring, but the ball going just wide of the uprights. Goalkeeper Polion very calm in his area. Good work by the Guyanese, but also good focused defending by the St. Lucians. And of course, the crowd behind their Golden Jaguars looking for the first goal, and would be very happy if the Guyanese are to score. So again, they're Guyana giving up play in the attacking third, but Brandon Beresford for the Guyanese trying to find Captain Nurse, Sheldon Noel and Daniel Wilson, 2 youngsters up front for Guyana, as St. Lucia moves forward again, and it's a foul committed against the St. Lucians. So again, it's going to be Another free kick to St. Lucia. And let's see what they can make of it. The first free kick went pretty close to scoring. Coach Jamal Shabazz not pleased with the level of play from his charges thus far, and perhaps bellowing some instructions to his charges. Number 8 and 14 on the ball for St. Lucia, Tremaine Paul. And number 14, of course, is Mr. Joseph, Lester Joseph. The ball going into touch. So it's going to be, let's see, it's a corner. The second corner of the game. And the second for St. Lucia. Goalkeeper Aker Clark coming and grasping the ball comfortably. So no problems there for the Golden Jaguars. The kick goes high into the air and possession is given to St. Lucia. Of course, perhaps that would have been as a result of an infringement committed by the Golden Jaguars. Playing in green and, of course, yellow. St. Lucia in light and dark blue. Another infringement committed against the St. Lucians. Just throw in there Chris Camacho for the Golden Jaguars. That's a foul against the Jags. Sheldon Noel. Brandon Beresford. Good work again by the Guyanese, but equally good work by the St. Lucians. The score still a 0-0 affair in this friendly international. The first for the St. Lucians in 2015. And they're also preparing apart from their focus on World Cup qualifying and the Olympic qualifying. They are going to be involved in the Windward Islands tournament in May this year. Keeper Clark for Guyana there as they maintain possession. Still trying to get their way in this encounter. Verlin Mills again for the Guyanese. Brandon Beresford, but not again being able to get it right in the final third. So ball going into touch. Out of harm's way for St. Lucia. Captain Emmanuel for St. Lucia controlling the situation at the back in defense. And that's a foul there committed against Captain Nurse of Guyana. Oh, good dummy there. The shot taken but not good, and there with another chance, Daniel Wilson, it looks like. Going wide of the upright, but it seems like it would have, the final touch would have come off of St. Lucia defender, and the ball going, it seems, let's see, going into touch. Initially, it seemed that as if it would have been a corner for the Guyanese, but now we see it's a goal kick So Daniel Wilson's shot to goal went wide of the mark. But another pretty close shave for St. Lucia. Mills again. Beresford to Nurse, who misses his pass there. Smith, a tower of strength in defense for the Guyanese. It's a foul against Nurse committed on a St. Lucian player. Number 11, Mr. Eden Charles. Number 8 taking the kick. That's Mr. Paul, Tremaine Paul. St. Lucia deep in the Guyana half of play. Another throw in to the visitors. Paul controlling play there with that throw in. And it's a free kick. It's going to be awarded in dangerous territory against Jamal Smith of Guyana, committed against the number 15 of St. Lucia, Malik St. Prix. Taking the kick is Eden Charles for St. Lucia. Two-man wall by the Guyanese. Let's see what will happen this time around. I think this is the third free kick deep in the Guyana half for the St. Lucians. Going over the crossbar, no harm there for goalkeeper Clark and the Guyanese. Of course, Mr. Charles would have been disappointed with that effort, but it's still a 0-0 affair. Neither team been able to score as the action continues here in this friendly international between St. Lucia and Guyana at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence. The teams were met prior to the start of this match by the Honorable Prime Minister of Guyana, Mr. Samuel Hines, the Honorable Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Dr. Frank Anthony, the Chairman of the Guyana Football Federation's Normalization Committee, Mr. Clinton Erling, and representatives from the main sponsor, Banks DIH Limited, Miss Jennifer Can, and others. A pretty quiet period here as neither team been able to score so far. Some good work there by the Guyanese. Verlin Mills eventually drawing the foul, and it's going to be a free kick just around the center line for Guyana, taken by Captain Nurse, who finds Nelson. He looks and finds the midfielder. The ball goes into touch. It's going to be the first corner for Guyana. Good defensive work there by St. Lucia once again. Verlin Mills with a shot inside. Brandon Beresford with a shot that goes over the crossbar. So no difficulty there for goalkeeper Polion. Number 18 on the turf for St. Lucia. Mr. Sebastian Hunt seems to be fine, and it's going to be a goal kick for St. Lucia once again as the exchanges continue here at the Providence Stadium in Guyana. Friendly international between the home team and the visitors, St. Lucia. Ball is placed into touch by Jamal Smith. For Guyana, it's going to be yet another throw-in to St. Lucia, taken by number 3, Eric Gabriel. Shot to goal by Gabriel goes just outside the upright. No harm there again for goalkeeper Akel Clark, sporting the number 30. Lines up now to take the kick. Finds, it looks like Daniel Wilson there for Guyana. The Guyanese still in possession. Good defending again by St. Lucia, keeping the ball out of the area, and it's a throw-in to the visitors. Mills has been pretty active in this game so far. St. Lucia dispossessing and moving forward. Pretty good work there by the Guyanese, thwarting that opportunity by the St. Lucians, who continue to show, good fight, great heart, and have been enjoying some good moments in this game so far. Easy take there for goalkeeper Polian. Not such a good kick as the Guyanese look to move forward once again. Sheldon with a shot, belatedly taken, of course, but good defending there by Captain Sheldon Emmanuel for St. Lucia. A tad bit too late. Number 16 for the Guyanese taking the throw-in, Joshua Brown. And no harm there again for St. Lucia, but a pretty good moment there for young Holder, Sheldon Holder. Shot taken, but good work by Captain Emmanuel. In blocking that shot earlier. Chris Nurse. And Mills again, once again in the picture, seeking to get that elusive goal for the Guyanese. Wilson, Brown, St. Lucia. Number 11 moving forward for the St. Lucians. Charles, it's going to be Verlon Mills for Guyana once again. Looks and finds Daniel Wilson in the goal, squares the ball. It's a shot taken and it's goal for the Guyanese. The Golden Jaguars, number 17. We will confirm who scored there, but it's goal number 1. It looks like Verlon Mills switching up and coming from the right side, and a beautifully taken shot gives the Golden Jaguars the edge. It's Guyana 1, St. Lucia yet to score. We will confirm who scored that goal for you shortly. Seemed like number 23, Ian Allen of Fruta Conquerors, a locally based club, opening the score for Guyana. Good work by the Guyanese, giving them the edge. So it's Guyana 1 through a goal of the boot of Ian Allen. St. Lucia, they haven't come off the mark as yet. Of course, the crowd would be more than pleased with the performance of their Jaguars so far. But I don't think that the Guyanese Jaguars would take the St. Lucians for granted. We know of their exploits and what they can do. So they'll have to be ever vigilant, as the St. Lucians, of course, will be looking to equalize. As Captain Emmanuel continues to control proceedings at the back for the St. Lucians, who are in possession. So the goal coming as just reward for the Jaguars, who would have been pretty persistent. The St. Lucians too would have had some opportunities to break the deadlock, but it was the Jaguars who would have capitalized on their chance and made it count. Daniel Wilson going forward there for the Jaguars. Chris Camacho, his shot coming over. Captain Emmanuel again there. Verlon Mills, his shot perhaps a little bit selfish there, trying to I think he realizes that, trying to beat goalkeeper Polian from that distance, but not being able to do so. The ball going way over the crossbar and into touch. So it's going to be another goal kick for St. Lucia. Remember, the Jaguars would have reached the third stage of qualifying in the previous competition leading up to Brazil 2014. And as we said before, both nations preparing for World Cup qualifying in 2018 Russia. Both Guyana and St. Lucia have been drawn in Group 2, the second stage, Stage 2, Round 2 of World Cup qualifying. Guyana are down to play St. Vincent and the Grenadines in their first game in June. Brandon Beresford moving forward for the Jaguars there. Verlon Mills once again. Back pass into Noel. The shot taken by Captain Nurse, but good defending there once again by St. Lucia. Joshua It's the referee now blowing for an infringement, kind of belatedly, and it's going to be a kick for St. Lucia. Captain Sheldon Emmanuel on the ball for St. Lucia. Jamal Smith for Guyana. A little too much on that. It goes into touch. Goal scorer Ian Allen not being able to get to the ball, and it's just throwing to St. Lucia. On the far right, the score 1-0 in favor of Guyana as the action continues here at the Providence Stadium. Friendly international between Guyana and St. Lucia, the first game for the St. Lucians in 2015. Goalkeeper Akel Clark coming forward to take the ball, and he takes a throw to Verlon Mills, who looks to find Sheldon Holder, and he has been fouled there by one of the St. Lucian players. A referee calling the number 10 player who was guilty of that infringement, Mr. Polius. Not quite ready there, so the kick would have to be retaken. Captain Christopher Nurse will be taking that free kick for the Guyanese. Mills again, but Daniel Wilson not vigilant there. That first time pass from Mills. St. Lucia once again moves forward, looking to find the equalizer, and it's a foul committed by Colin Nelson of Guyana. It's going to be a free kick. We see number 8 on the ball for St. Lucia, Mr. Trimmon Paul, and he's working in tandem yet again with number 14, Lester Joseph. We also see number 10 now coming into play, Zacchaeus Polius for St. Lucia, as they search for the equalizing goal. Paul, it looks like, will take the shot. Comfortably grasped there by Clark as the Guyanese moves forward. Sheldon Holder, Brandon Beresford looks to find Ian Allen on the far side. The ball goes into touch, and it's going to be a throw-in taken by Joshua Brown for Guyana. St. Lucia back with possession. Christopher Nurse for Guyana draws a foul, so it's going to be a free kick for the Guyanese. Nurse perhaps wanted to take it as fast as possible, but not being able to, so Joshua Brown, number 16, taking this free kick for the Golden Jaguars. Captain Nurse, good shot, equally well saved by goalkeeper Randy Polion for St. Lucia. Good thinking by Captain Christopher Nurse, but as I said, equally good saving and equal to the task was St. Lucia's custodian Randy Polion. So the score remains 1-0 in favor of Guyana as the corner is taken. No harm there for St. Lucia. It goes into touch, and it's going to be another goal kick for the St. Lucians as we approach the halfway mark in this friendly international here at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence. It's the first game for the St. Lucians this year. Both nations are preparing for World Cup qualifying at Russia 2018. Verlon Mills with a good shot. Again, testing Polion, Brandon Beresford. And the ball is cleared by St. Lucia. So a pretty close shave again for St. Lucia. Brown taking the shot, looks and finds his captain, Nurse, who moves forward. But again, St. Lucia, 1 minute of added on time as signaled by the fourth official. So we're 1 minute away from the halfway mark in this game that is being led by the Golden Jaguars 1-0. Brandon Beresford. And it's offside. Ian Allen, it seems, in the offside. It's a pretty good first half, despite the fact that the Golden Jaguars are leading 1-0. St. Lucia also shows that they have the capacity to score, but the Guyanese standing tall in defense, led by Jamal Smith and Colin Nelson. Offside. So as we wind down to the end of the first half, of course the fans would be pleased so far with the performance of the Golden Jaguars as they lead 1-0, and that's the halftime whistle sounded. Guyana's Golden Jaguars 1, St. Lucia 0. Yes, we are back here at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence, where we're going to be seeing the start of the second half of this friendly international between Guyana's Golden Jaguars and St. Lucia. And we're on our way, the final 45 minutes of proceedings. Guyana leading 1-0. The goal scored by Ian Allen in the 33rd minute of the game. We anticipate a pretty exciting final half. Of course, the Golden Jaguars will be looking to increase the advantage, while the St. Lucians would be looking to reduce the deficit by equalizing in the first instance and, of course, pushing for a win of their own. When these countries met last year, 2014, in the Caribbean Cup competition, the St. Lucians prevailed 2-0. But this time around, it's much stronger Golden Jaguars. And they, of course, like the St. Lucians, are preparing for World Cup qualifying Russia 2018. The St. Lucians, I'm told as well, head coach Francis Lastic, who has been at the helm of the St. Lucia senior program since 2012, said that they're also preparing for the Windward Islands Championship that should be played in May, followed by the round 2 World Cup qualifying in June. Jamal Shabazz, head coach of the Guyana team, the senior team that is, as well as the under-23s, recently inking a 2-year contract with the Guyana Football Federation's Normalization Committee. And Shabazz, no stranger to football in Guyana. As a matter of fact, he was at the helm when Guyana qualified for the 3rd stage of World Cup qualifying for 2014 Brazil. It was the furthest that this nation would have advanced, and I'm sure that they're looking to go even better in this sojourn. So it's Chris Kamach for Guyana moving forward. Had not been able to find Sheldon Holder. So St. Lucia's back in possession. Good defending there by Colin Nelson. Keeping the ball out of the Guyana half of play. So Jamal Smith for the Jags looks and finds his captain Chris Nurse. Nurse wanted to find Sheldon Holder, that is, but wasn't successful. Nurse again for Guyana. Holder with a shot, and it's goal number 2 for the Golden Jaguars. Sheldon Holder, the goal scorer for Guyana, increasing the advantage. Sheldon Holder on target. Goalkeeper Randy Polion looked like he was stuck for a moment there. Perhaps felt that the ball would have been going to his left, but that wasn't the case. It ended up at the back of the net, so Holder increasing the advantage early in the second half for the Golden Jaguars, who are now leading 2 St. Lucia 0. The fans are pretty quiet, but of course happy that their Jaguars are leading St. Lucia 2-0. That was the scoreline when the two countries last met in the Caribbean Cup in 2014 in St. Lucia. So the Jags return in the favor somewhat so far. But of course, one could not count the St. Lucians out of this encounter. We're in the early period of the second half, and we're seeing some of the St. Lucians who are reserves getting warm. There's substitutes getting warm. Of course, Coach Francis Lastic would no doubt be making a few changes as he seeks to introduce fresh legs to the middle in an effort to reduce the deficit and perhaps seek to get an equalizing goal. When Guyana met Barbados on February 1 in Barbados, the Guyanese ran away 2-0 leaders early, but the young Barbados side were able to come back and equalize that game, which ended 2-2. So it's a foul. It seemed like it would have been a foul committed against Guyana, and it's a kick that's going to be taken by the Guyanese. Colin Nelson on the ball for the Golden Jaguars. He seeks to find Noel, but was not able to, and it's going to be a goal kick to St. Lucia. And even as the majority of players in this friendly international for Guyana are youngsters, we know that the Guyana program would have been able to attract 2 players out of the Premier League in England, Neil Dans and Matthew Briggs, who has the record of being the youngest player to ever play in the Premier League in England. Both Dans and Briggs are expected to join the Guyana program and would be here to compete against Grenada. That's another friendly international that is going to be played at this same venue on next Sunday. That's March 29, as the Golden Jaguars seek to get the best possible combination for World Cup qualifying, as well as preparations for the Olympic qualifying competition. So far, both youngsters would have been goal scorers for Guyana, in Ian Allen in the 33rd minute, and we see the St. Lucians making their first substitution. Number 14 is exiting the game, Lester Joseph, and number 4, let's see, Everton Lambert coming in for Joseph. So St. Lucia, as we just said a short while ago, Coach Francis Lastic would be looking to introduce fresh legs as the St. Lucians seek to reduce the deficit, which is 2-0 at the moment. So Lester Joseph being substituted and Everton Lambert coming on, number 4 for number 14. Lester Joseph.
The game is in the second half.
The action continues here at the Providence Stadium. Guyana 2, St. Lucia yet to score. Ian Allen and Sheldon Holder, the goal scorers for Guyana so far.
Under their Banks Bay brand, have fun in Banks Country, and Coca-Cola, open happiness.
St. Lucia moving forward as they seek their first goal in this encounter. And so far, so good. But good defending again by the Guyanese.
Remember, this is the first of 2.
We see even the midfielders coming back to render support to the defenders as they seek to keep the St. Lucians at bay here at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence. That ball goes into touch. It's going to be a throw-in for Guyana. Chris Camacho will be taking the throw-in. Referee is saying that you need to make a few steps backward. Camacho to Nelson. Left foot shot looking to find Daniel Wilson. Christopher Nurse, the captain for Guyana. But good defending there again by captain Sheldon Emmanuel of St. Lucia. As St. Lucia moves forward, but good coming there in the final third by Jamal Smith. Canadian base, 6-foot+ defender, wearing the number 4 jersey. Thwarting that effort there by St. Lucia, Ian Allen. Drawing a foul. Scored Guyana's first goal, and I think that it's his first at the international level as well. Sheldon Holder would have been a part of the Golden Jaguars for the 2014 World Cup qualifying competition. And that ball is into touch. So it's going to be another throw-in for Guyana. That's going to be taken by Mr. Camacho once again, number 5. So Guyana sitting pretty comfortably so far. We're in the second half of this friendly international with St. Lucia. Both nations preparing for World Cup qualifying. Russia 2018, the second round of CONCACAF qualifying, commences in June. Guyana's down to play St. Vincent and the Grenadines away in their first encounter. Not in control there, Chris Camacho that is, and it's going to be a throw-in to St. Lucia. Sheldon Holder aiming to control there, but St. Lucians pretty solid work there by number 10 of St. Lucia, Zacchaeus Polios. So the action continues here. Goalkeeper Akel Clark for the Golden Jaguars. In midfield, finds Ian Allen, who was not able to control the ball, but apparently there was some infringement committed. As a matter of fact, a yellow card being issued to one of the St. Lucian players. So it's going to be a free kick to be taken by young Brandon Beresford, who made his debut in 2010 in Atlanta when the Guyanese played Guatemala. Let's see how this goes. Beresford, nice kick and good defending by St. Lucia. The offside flag right raised by the assistant referee. So it's going to be a kick to St. Lucia, taken by their goalkeeper Randy Polion. Foul there against St. Lucia, who seems to be playing with some degree of urgency at the moment. Naturally, they're trailing the Guyanese 2-0, and they would not want the game to get too far out of their reach. But it will take some amount of playing on the part of the St. Lucians, who would have drawn a foul there to first reduce the deficit, and then they're coming very close there yet again to scoring. But again, solid defending by Jamal Smith for Guyana, keeping them at bay. Sheldon Holder for Guyana moving forward, looking to find his man. Let's see who he tries to find on the far side. It looks like Daniel Wilson, but the ball being cleared by St. Lucia. It's a foul and quickly taken as the St. Lucians, but the referee saying no, you need to restart play. Beresford. Colin Nelson in defense there for Guyana, as the St. Lucians yet again comes close, but not being able to penetrate in the final third. It's a pretty good little period the St. Lucians are enjoying at the moment. But the Guyanese are keeping the focus and keeping the visitors at bay so far. That ball played into touch by Ian Allen. Yes, the goal scorer for Guyana, sporting the number 23 shirt. It's a corner awarded to St. Lucia, and their captain, Sheldon Emmanuel, orchestrating the play himself, but petering out into a soft play more or less, going into touch, and it's going to be yet another goal kick to the Golden Jaguars, who are leading 2-0. Ian Allen scoring in the 33rd minute, and Sheldon Holder scoring early in the second period of play. Play on, the referee says, as the Golden Jaguars are into the attacking third of the St. Lucians, not being able to make much of that play. So it's a goal kick to St. Lucia. St. Lucia already making one substitution. Lester Joseph being replaced by Everton Lambert, and they're about to make the second substitution. And we see number 3 now coming out, and that player is Eric Gabriel, and he's going to be replaced by number 23, Jamil Joseph. So Jamil Joseph coming in for St. Lucia. Guyana is going to be making a sub as well. We see number 10, Emery Welchman, about to make his appearance in the game. It's going to be the second game he's playing for Guyana. He played his first against Barbados on February the 1st and also scored in that game, his first goal for Guyana, and he's Canadian based. Coming off is Sheldon Holder, after doing a fine job for his nation. Sheldon Holder scoring the second goal for Guyana. He's being replaced by Emery Welchman. So number 9 out and number 10 in for the Golden Jaguars. And Holder is exiting the game to the applause of the appreciative crowd here at the Guyana National Stadium. So St. Lucia, so far 2 substitutions. Just a short while ago, we saw number 3 taking his leave from the game, Eric Gabriel. And we'll come back to that. Number 23 making an appearance. Yet another substitution for St. Lucia. Number 17 out. And number 10 is coming in. Number 17 is, let's get that for you, Romel Felix. He is out of the game, and replacing him is, we'll confirm that substitution for you shortly. But the third substitution for St. Lucia as the Jaguars continues to press forward. Good work, a good positioning there by goalkeeper Randy Polian for St. Lucia. The score, Guyana 2, St. Lucia yet to score. A corner awarded to the St. Lucians. Captain Emmanuel working overtime. Not a corner, rather it's a throw-in to the St. Lucians. Pretty powerful throw-in there by Captain Sheldon Emmanuel, who is really leading from the front, trying to put it back for his country. They're trailing the Guyanese 2-0 here at the Guyana National Stadium, Providence. The teams were met before the start of the game by the Honorable Prime Minister of Ghana, Mr. Samuel Hines. Also meeting the teams was the Honorable Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Dr. Frank Anthony, and the Chairman of the Guyana Football Federation Normalization Committee, Clinton Erling, as well as Banks DIH, the main sponsor for this game, their Coca-Cola manager, Jennifer Khan. And despite the fact that the St. Lucians are trailing 2-0, they continue to show great heart in pressing the Guyanese. Emery Welchman for Guyana. He was looking to find Ian Allen, but the shot wasn't as pinpoint as it should have been, and it was intercepted by the St. Lucians. But possession back with Guyana. Jamal Smith looks to find Ian Allen and is successful, but the St. Lucians again, number 2 for them. John Joseph, the Dreadlock Joseph, doing a fine job, and it's going to be a free kick just outside of the danger zone awarded to the Guyanese. So pretty dangerous territory. Let's see who will take the kick. Ian Allen, it seemed, would have been fouled. Number 7 for Guyana, Dwayne Jacobs. who came on as a substitute, is lining up to take the shot. That kick for the Golden Jaguars. A pretty interesting area. And I can tell you, Randy Polion will have to save here because Jacobs a very good free kick taker. Let's see what happens here. Can the score be increased? Just 3. Let's wait and see. It's Dwayne Jacobs and Emery Welchman for the Guyanese. But the ball goes into the wall, and Ian Allen tried to get a shot off but was not successful. So the score remains 2-0 in favor of the Golden Jaguars. Well, not too tidy work there from the Guyanese, giving up a corner to St. Lucia, quickly taken. But the St. Lucia's not been able to turn and get into the attacking thirds, but they're still persevering as they seek to first reduce the deficit. Chris Camacho doing some good work there for his country, getting the ball out of harm's way, but still in possession of the St. Lucians. Welchman for the Guyanese. Good work there, going to the far side, but not being able to find his man, but Welchman working hard, and Guyana still being able to have possession deep into the St. Lucian half. Goal scorers so far, Ian Allen and Sheldon Holder. Yet another substitution being made by the Golden Jaguars. Number 14 it is going to be introduced. Clive Nobriga, and he will be replacing Ian Allen.
We have Clive Nobriga replacing.
So fresh legs again being introduced into this game. Ian Allen being congratulated by the coaching staff as well as his fellow teammates for a good performance, scoring the first goal for his nation here against St. Lucia. (2-0) in favor of Guyana. St. Lucia still looking for their first goal, even as head coach of the Guyana team, Jamal Shabazz, is giving instructions to his charges. Head coach of St. Lucia, Francis Lastic, is standing and observing his players as they move forward in search of their first goal. They've won themselves a corner. The ball goes into touch, so it's going to be a throw to the Golden Jaguars. Chris Camacho. Still in possession, the Golden Jaguars. Camacho again. Captain Emmanuel becoming even more visible for his nation. Controlling play. Christopher Nurse, his opposite number for the Golden Jaguars. Not having the best of games, but still leading from the front for the Golden Jaguars. Camacho yet again. Welchman. Of course, both coaches will naturally be reviewing the performance of their respective sides at the conclusion of this match. And while one nation might go out loser, of course, there would be positive moments that could be taken from the game. And the not so positive moments, the technical staff will have to work to ensure that mistakes made here from both sides are corrected going forward. Daniel Wilson. It's going to be a throw-in for Guyana. Another substitution being made. Kandata Manning is being introduced. And he's replacing Brandon Beresford. So one midfield player for another. Kandata Manning coming in this game for Brandon Beresford. So as I said, both sides would be looking to give as much of their players some exposure at this international level as they seek to get the right combination or the best possible combination ahead of World Cup qualifying for Russia 2018. In the case of the St. Lucia side, they're also preparing for the Windward Islands Cup, which would also be used as a gauge to assemble the best possible combination ahead of CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. Good shot taken, but not on target, so no worries there at all for goalkeeper Akel Clark. Yet another substitution by the Guyanese. Number 11 is taking his leave from this game. That's Daniel Wilson. And he's going to be replaced by number 20, Junior Junior. Jermaine Junior, rather. Kanata Banning. It's a foul, quickly taken there by the St. Lucians. They're trailing the Golden Jaguars by 2. Captain Emmanuel standing strong, playing firm for St. Lucia, directing proceedings even when he's not in possession. Goalkeeper Akel Clark coming into the mix after a very long time. That was a shot taken there on goal. A very appreciative crowd in the house, inclusive of the Prime Minister, Mr. Samuel Hines, and Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Dr. Frank Anthony, as well as Chairman of the Guyana Football Federation's Normalization Committee, Clinton Erling. Executives of the sponsors, Banks DIH, under the Banks Beer and Coca-Cola brands. Foul committed against St. Lucia. We see some good sportsmanship being displayed throughout this encounter by both sides. Whenever an individual from either side is fouled, the perpetrator would extend a hand to get that person back up and running. So that's pretty good rivalry between the two countries, despite the fact that the St. Lucians are trailing 2-0. Lots of kids are very much a part of the proceedings, lots of women, parents, fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles coming out to show support to the Golden Jaguars. International football making a grand return to these shores after more than 2 years, and the fans are very happy for this. The players as well are very happy for this, as the Guyana Football Federation Normalization Committee seek to give the players the best possible opportunity, and opportunities, of course, to have football played and to be as active as they possibly can in putting together teams for Olympic and World Cup qualifying. So of course time is winding down in this game here between St. Lucia and Guyana. The home team, they're leading 2-0. And of course, head coach Jamal Shabazz just signaling to goalkeeper Akel Clark to get the game going. Keep playing. No time wasting, as the home team would of course want to keep the intensity pretty high. Shabazz not too pleased with what he would have seen shortly, and we are going to see yet another substitution shortly being made by the Guyanese, Canadian-based player in Daniel White will be making his international debut here for Guyana. Now approaching the fourth official. So Daniel White, sporting the number 18 jersey, would be making his international debut, and he plays in the left fullback position. But the action continues on field as the Golden Jaguars move forward. St. Lucia standing strong at the back in that moment, and they are on the counter as well, seeking to reduce the deficit, but not being able to get things their way as the play continues.
Regular and 4,000 VIP. Also, there are VIP suites available. Just contact the Guyana Football Federation office for more details.
St. Lucia, shot taken, but good positioning by Akel Clark.
Have fun in Banks Country.
for the Golden Jaguars.
And Coca-Cola, Open Happiness. Also, special thank you to Hits and Jams, playing a part in making tonight's event truly successful. And to you, the fans,
Good pressure there by the Guyanese, forcing
the Golden Jaguars. Good night and thank
the
you.
ball into touch. Number 16 is going to be making way for White, number 16 of Guyana, Joshua Brown. He's coming out and it's going to be replaced by Daniel White, who's making his international debut for Guyana. So lots of options available to the Guyana technical staff as well. Dwayne Jacobs for the Guyanese, but good defending once again by St. Lucia, thwarting that effort there. Pretty interesting little period there as the Guyanese sought to increase the lead, but St. Lucia standing tall at the back, eventually drawing a foul. Captain Christopher Nurse. The cross is in, but it goes into touch. And another substitution for St. Lucia. Number 11 will make his way out of the game, Eden Charles. And number 12 will be introduced. That's Nehemi Gilbert. So Gilbert in for St. Lucia and Charles out. So both sides not being afraid to make substitutions as they try to give most players an opportunity to showcase what they have to offer. Of course, the Golden Jaguars leading 2-0. Captain Christopher Nurse, Dwayne Jacobs, Chris Camacho. The ball still in play. Colin Nelson. Kanata Manning. Daniel White. Nurse. Nobriga not being able to be effective in finding one of his teammates up front. So St. Lucia back in possession, but it's the Golden Jaguars who are enjoying a pretty good period of play here, moving forward. Into touch for a throw-in to Guyana. Three minutes of added on time, just signaled by the fourth official, even as St. Lucia are about to make yet another substitution. And we're winding down, 2-0. Goals scored in either half. Opening the scoring for Guyana was Ian Allen in the 33rd minute, and early in proceedings in the second half, Sheldon Holder increasing the score for the Golden Jaguars, which remains 2-0 in favor of the home team. And the Jaguars now more or less focusing on the on-ball possession. Quite a number of passes, but not getting it right in the final third. Welshman for the Jags. And that's a foul. And of course, a card there for Colin Nelson of Guyana. Number 15 of St. Lucia will be replaced, Malik St. Prix. Being replaced by number 22, Levi Francis. So Malik St. Prix out, number 15, and replacing him is number 22, Levi Francis. Not much time remaining in this friendly international encounter between Guyana's Golden Jaguars and the St. Lucia. It's the first game for the St. Lucians in 2015. It's the second for the Golden Jaguars, having already played Barbados on the 1st of February in Barbados, that game ending in a 2-all draw. And even as the fans are making their way out of the venue, I'm sure they would have had an enjoyable evening seeing the return of international football here at the Guyana National Stadium. And that's the final whistle sounded there by the referee. Pretty good performance as the head coaches exchange the salutations. Jamal Shabazz and Francis Lastic. Guyana's Golden Jaguars prevailing 2-0 in this encounter against St. Lucia at the Guyana National Stadium. Both teams are preparing for World Cup qualifying 2018 Russia.
Come on, you come back. Next Sunday, we return right here where Guyana would play Grenada.
Assistant coach for St. Lucia, Anthony Misha Jean-Baptiste, and the skipper, Mr. Sheldon Emmanuel, will be fielding questions from us. Gentlemen, you came here last night. Your thoughts on the game?
Very good game. I find Guyana played very good, both in attack and defense. We also, and there's just certain laps in the game that we did, cost us the game.
So what's next for you in terms of, because I think it's the first game you played for the year, and you're preparing like for the World Cup as well as the Windward tournament. What's next for you guys?
As we said, we're really preparing for the Windward tournament. The World Cup is later in the month. Our game is against Antigua. So our focus now is for the Windward tournament. We have 3 games to play in that tournament, and this will at least get us the hype to prepare for the World Cup qualifiers.
In the second half, the team seemed a little shut out by that. You weren't as forceful like you were in the first half. I guess what is the approach you guys would take after the game?
We started the game positive. It was a positive first half, good first half, intense. We start putting the ball down and passing the ball around. But I find the coach, Jamal Shabazz, change the tactics, where he bring up the attackers closer to us, where he had us to be kicking the ball long, and then the ball keep on coming back right back into us, and it had us under a little pressure. Second half, it was our first game for the year. I believe we're not match fit as yet. I think the Guyana team is a little better prepared than us, tactically, technically also. But to me, I enjoyed the game and it was a great game.
So what's next for you guys moving forward?
As I said, we prayed for the Winner Island tournament sometime in May of this year, and that's what it was. We focus right now on the Winner Island tournament.
One more thing. For us, it's like going back home, work on our weaknesses, play a couple of friendly games, and I think we'll be better prepared come for the Windward Island and the World Cup qualifiers.
We might play Guyana again, you know. Happy to play them again.
You want to play them?
Yeah.
Do you think the next matchup will be
Good.
different? What different do you think it will be?
I think, as the skipper said, in terms of our fitness, we will. For sure we will.
Any additional players?
Yes, we have additional players, something in the pipeline, which we cannot disclose now, but we have players playing outside, out of Central.
We would have had the friendly prior of which we ended in a draw, and tonight 2-0. Prior to the game, we would have said that you needed a victory to boost the morale and encourage people to rally back the team. Let's touch a bit on the performance of the squad. Were you satisfied even though you were capable of victory?
I thought the effort was quite good. You know, a total effort from the guys. On this occasion, unlike the Barbados game, I thought we were able to make more football actions in the time, you know, a higher level of fitness. We at times play with a better tempo, and we could see bits and pieces of what we want to see for Guyana football. I think it was so important for us to win tonight. Not for us. We are very serious about our football. You know, we're very, very serious. I think it's for the fans and for corporate Guyana to see that we're very, very, very serious, because we've seen an organization, a committee come together in just under 5 months. And, you know, we see football back in, you know, and that's the kind of seriousness. So the victory was not really for us. We always serious. You know, we deadly serious about our football. We cry when we lose. So it was for the public and for corporate Guyana and for the politicians and for everybody to see, you know, a desire, you know, from an organization that is very, very, very serious about taking Guyana forward.
Yeah, Captain, can you sum up in your view how the team performed today?
I think the team had something to prove today, because a lot of players, sad to say, felt a bit disgruntled in the way that they were left out of the CFU squad last year against St. Lucia, and I think today a lot of players wanted to prove a point. Had the best team been selected for that CFU tournament, that Guyana could have been competing in the Gold Cup this year against the USA and Mexico, because French Guyana competing against Honduras for the final spot. So the players had it in their hearts that they wanted to go out and prove a point today. We still know that we're developing as a team. We're getting better game by game. You know, today the fitness was better. There was a little bit more cohesion, but there's still a lot that we can improve on as a team also. You know, it wasn't a complete performance, but we kept a clean sheet and we got a good result, and that's always very positive in international football.
What do you think, John? What do you think the victory tonight does for your squad? For the people, the supporters-wise, heading into the friendly against Grenada next Sunday?
I think for the team, it brings that reassurance, because the guys made sacrifices. So we took them away from the club at the time of an important tournament for them locally, and it gives that feeling and that sense of assurance that, look, if we dedicate ourselves to the task, because we want to rebuild this, you know, we want to become a strong team again. And I think, you know, getting 3 points today is just the kind of step we want playing at home.
Okay, you've got a few days to regroup ahead of the Grenada game. You're going to be bolstered by 2 players from the Premier League. How do you see them blending in with this team, and what kind of performance are we looking forward to against Grenada?
Well, the fact that Matthew and Neil consented and accepted, you know, our offer to come, and Chris will talk about them because Chris is friends with one of them at least. But also there are a couple other boys we want to bring in, Purnell Schultz, Treon Bob, who we didn't consider for this game because we're in the middle of a tournament and these games are what we're going to use in the FIFA time allotted to select our final squad, you know. So from here, regroup, send some players back to the clubs so that they could continue playing in this tournament, bring in a couple and widen the pool, you know. Of course, we can't get an eagle, you know, them big long-time eagles that they used to have in them sci-fi movies to bring the players. It costs money, you know, it costs money to bring the players. So we would like corporate Guyana to step forward and play your part because this is what football does. Football gives everybody a chance to contribute to the country.
My final question to this kid, now you would have had players with that English experience, some of the Premier League, etc. You've been making this call before. You would have played with some Park and Shades and some prior. What does it say for the Guyana football going forward, the inclusion of these players and something to be added?
I think in general, Guyana's football going forward is going to be very exciting. I think one of the players that we miss in the team right now is Walter Moore. He's been one of the best players for Guyana for years now. Everybody's excited for him to come back also, as well as Briggs and Dans. But the overseas players bring experience, and it's in international games when you're 1-0 up or 2-0 up, it's all about experience and decision making, and that's what they're going to be able to bring and add to the team as well as their talent. You know, we have a lot of talented players in Guyana, and now it's about them getting that experience. So this decision making improves, and you know we become more of a unit as a team.